Here's more from Stelter, and he's freaking out because this might have something to do with marijuana. Ah!
Twitter's now in a very public fight with its biggest shareholder, who is also the richest man in the world, who, of course, is, invested in Tesla and so many other companies, and he wants to be invested more in Twitter. He says he wants to pay $54.20 a share to buy up the rest of Twitter that he doesn't have. Of course, $54.20, that's 420, that's a code for marijuana, which he very much enjoys. So is this all a troll, or is this very real? Well, it's real enough that he filed with the SEC. It's real enough that he's saying this is my best and final offer. It's real enough that investors are now wondering what's going to happen if he pulls out and sells all the shares he already has. It's a huge problem for Twitter right now.
All right, I'm back with you. I took a little bit of a detour there halfway through that explanation because it's just so bizarre.
Right. I mean, the 420 coding and everything. Yeah.
For the record, the only way to watch CNN is stoned, okay? I'm not here to push drugs on any of you, but I'm also here not to tell anyone to watch CNN. But seriously, little something, and if you stare into Wolf Blitzer's beard long enough, you will see something. Like, you can actually have a religious experience. You shouldn't watch CNN either way, but anyway, you see that it's just all nonsense. It's all nonsense. Elon might start allowing people to think about the messaging differently. He might start allowing people to get alternate information. He might start having it known that these people are all liars and con artists.
The questions, the hopes and the fears that he's going to come in and overhaul Twitter's policies, let anything go on Twitter, and remove some of the rules of the road. You think that's not likely?
Well, I don't know. I just think he has to persuade people. It's just he's not king of Twitter. He's he's a board member of 12 board members, and then there's a management staff. Now, some people might agree with him, some people might not, but this is a public company, and so he can't just decree things. He can certainly do it on Twitter and create lots of pressure and a lot of fun in some ways, and some of the ideas are good and some of the ideas are odd, but that's okay. So who cares, essentially? That's what Twitter.
What's interesting about that is the guest there, Kara Swisher, she's a leftist New York Times whack job. I'm pretty sure she's called me racist a couple times on Twitter. She actually is starting to sound like the voice of reason there. He's not the king of Twitter. The guy's trying to buy it. What's interesting also about the board versus the shareholders is that I just want to be very, very clear about this, as someone that started a startup and that eventually we merged with a bigger company. If on any given day over the past 3.5 years when I was running locals, and everyone who's ever done a startup or anyone who's ever done a business, any business, if you got a call from Elon Musk and Elon Musk was like, hey, I'd like to buy your business and I'd like to buy it for much more than it's worth. That is the greatest day as a business owner you could possibly have. Whether you have a pizza joint and Elon Musk is like, I want to get into the pizza biz, or you have a tech company or whatever you have, if you got a call from the richest man in the world who said, I like what you're doing and I'd like to help it grow. Or in this case, he's not even saying it's a functional business. He's just saying, I'd like to do something good with the world. That is the greatest thing that could happen. So if you are a shareholder of Twitter right now, you should be on the phone with your lawyer, because Elon Musk, his people, are offering way more than the company is worth. And I'm pretty sure that if you invested in something, I'm not a mathematician, but if you were to invest in, Connor, help me with this one. You're a bright guy. If you were to invest in something, would you want more or less money from it, let's say 3 years later? More. Okay, Michael? More. Geniuses. I'm working with freaking geniuses here. Generally, you put money into an investment, and then your hope is that the company is run well and that the money becomes more valuable, and then you can sell the shares accordingly, or you can keep riding it out, sell some, save some, et cetera, et cetera. That's what the beauty of stocks are, okay? That's what capitalism and the free exchange of goods and value, that's what it's all about. So the shareholders basically are now at war with the board. The board who has decided we will not do what is fiduciarily best for the company. What is financially best for the company is not something we are interested in. And it makes you wonder if they're not in business for business, right? And business is all about creating capital and making money. If they're not in business for business, what is Twitter in business for? Could they be in the business of controlling information? Is that an actual business? And then, boy, there's a lot of questions that we'd have to ask after that. So there is something very interesting happening.